Tuesday morning started like every Tuesday morning. I packed Ethan's lunch. Turkey sandwich, apple slices, those cookies he liked shaped like dinosaurs. He was at the table doing last-minute math homework, pencil moving in that careful way 10-year-olds write. Dad, what's 7 times 8? What do you think it is? He scrunched his nose. 56? Smart kid, he grinned. That gap-toothed smile that made every struggle worth it. Single fatherhood wasn't what I'd planned. Ethan's mother left when he was 2. Addiction issues. Court granted me full custody. But we'd figured it out. Me and my boy against the world. And we were winning. Finally. I'd just gotten promoted as senior engineer at my software company. Bought our first house 6 months ago. Nothing fancy, 3 bedrooms in a decent neighborhood, but ours. Ethan was thriving. Good grades. Sweet disposition. A little shy, but kind. Ready? I asked. Ready. We drove to Riverside Elementary, same route every day. He hummed along to the radio, completely off-key. Love you, buddy, I said as he got out. Love you too, Dad. He shouldered his backpack and headed toward the entrance. Stopped. Turned back and waved. I waved back. Last normal moment of our lives. I was 3 hours into debugging code when my phone rang. School number. Probably forgot his library book. Or needed lunch money. Mr. Carter? Principal Hendricks, voice tight. Yes? You need to come to the school, immediately. My stomach dropped. Is Ethan okay? Is he hurt? Just, please come now. I grabbed my keys. Told my boss, family emergency. Drove 20 minutes that felt like 20 hours. The parking lot was normal, no ambulances. That was good, right? But when I walked through the main doors, I saw them. 2 police cars outside the office. My heart stopped. I ran to the office, burst through the door. Ethan was sitting in a chair. 2 uniformed officers standing nearby. Principal Hendricks looking stressed. And there, standing by the window like he belonged there, was my brother Ryan. Detective Ryan Carter. 12 years on the force. The family's pride and joy. Ethan, I rushed to my son. He looked up at me, face red, eyes swollen from crying. Dad, what's happening? Why are the police here? I don't know, buddy. I looked at the officers, at Ryan. What is going on? The older officer stepped forward. Mr. Carter, I'm Officer Davis. We need to bring Ethan in for questioning regarding a theft report. Theft? He's 10 years old. Sir, we understand this is upsetting. What did he allegedly steal? Ryan finally spoke. A gaming console, from my house. I stared at him. You called the police on your nephew? I filed a report. They followed up. For a gaming console? Are you serious? Officer Davis pulled out handcuffs. Ethan, we need you to come with us to the station. You're not putting handcuffs on him. I moved between them and my son. Sir, it's procedure for any felony theft. He's 10. Dad? Ethan's voice, small and terrified. Ryan looked at me. Wouldn't meet my eyes. Jake, just let them do their job. Their job? You did this, Principal Hendricks intervened. Perhaps we can do this quietly. But it was too late. Officer Davis gently moved me aside. Ethan Carter, you're being detained for questioning. You're not under arrest, but you need to come with us. He pulled out the handcuffs. Please, I begged. Please don't do this to him. Dad, Ethan started crying. Dad, I didn't do anything. They put the handcuffs on my 10-year-old son in the school office, where other kids could see through the glass door, where parents picking up sick children watched in horror, where everything fell apart. I'm coming with you, I said. You can meet us at the station, sir. Like hell. Mr. Carter. Officer Davis's voice hardened. You can drive separately or we can have another conversation. Your choice. I looked at Ethan, at my boy in handcuffs, shaking. It's okay, buddy. I'm right behind you. Right behind you. They walked him out, through the school lobby, past the third-grade classrooms where kids pressed their faces against windows, past parents who pulled out phones, Past the entire world watching my son be treated like a criminal. I followed, numb. Saw Ryan get in his car, wanted to scream at him, wanted to understand. Instead, I got in my car, called my friend Marcus. Lawyer. Thank God. Marcus. Police took Ethan. False theft accusation. I'm following them to the station. Don't let them question him without representation. I'm on my way. 20-minute drive. Ethan was in a police car ahead of me. I could see the back of his head. My son, my boy, in handcuffs, because of my brother. Growing up, Ryan was the golden child. I was not. He joined the police academy at 22. Everyone celebrated. Dad threw a party. Mom cried happy tears. I became a single father at 25. Custody battle, ex-wife's addiction. Everyone was concerned. Ryan made detective at 30. More celebrations, promotions, commendations. I worked my way up in tech with a toddler at home. Nobody threw parties, but I'd done it. Built a career, bought a house, raised a good kid alone, and recently I'd started doing well. Really well. Promotion. Raise. New house. Ethan getting straight A's. 2 weeks ago, we'd had dinner at my parents' house. Ryan was there with his wife Amber and their son Derek. Derek was 12. Ethan looked up to him. Ryan had been bragging about closing a major case. Everyone listened, impressed. I'd mentioned my promotion. Senior engineer, significant raise. Dad barely looked up. That's nice, Jake. Ryan, tell us more about the investigation. Mom had turned to Ethan. Sweetie, maybe you should be more like your cousin Derek. He's very responsible. Ethan had gone quiet, hurt showing in his eyes. I'd made an excuse and left early. Had that dinner triggered this? Was Ryan really that petty? At the station, they took Ethan to an interrogation room. Marcus arrived. Don't let them question him without me present. We fought for 20 minutes, finally got in the room. Ethan sat at a metal table, still in handcuffs. A detective I didn't know across from him. Not Ryan. He had enough sense for that at least. Can you remove the handcuffs? Marcus demanded. Once we've completed the interview. He's 10. Remove them now. The detective sighed. Unlocked the cuffs. Ethan immediately grabbed my hand. Dad, I didn't steal anything, I promise. I know, buddy, I know. The detective, name tag said Morrison, opened a folder. Ethan, do you know why you're here? Ethan shook his head. Your cousin Derek reported that his gaming console went missing. A PlayStation 5, worth about $400. I didn't take it. Derek says it disappeared after the family dinner 2 weeks ago. You were there, correct? Yes, but I didn't go in his room. I stayed in the living room the whole time. Derek found this in your backpack. Morrison slid a piece of paper across. That's your handwriting? I looked. It was a note. Ask Derek about trading games. That doesn't prove anything, Marcus said. My client discussing games with his cousin isn't evidence of theft. Detective Ryan also reported that Detective Ryan is the plaintiff's uncle, Marcus interrupted. There's a clear conflict of interest here. He was the reporting party. We're conducting the investigation. By handcuffing a 10-year-old at school? Morrison's face hardened. We take theft seriously. So do I, which is why I'm asking. Do you have any actual evidence? Console found at the residence? Purchase receipts? Pawn shop records? We're in the process of investigating. You already searched their house, didn't you? Today? Consent search? I realized with horror, they'd gone to our house, while I was here. With Mr. Carter's verbal consent, yes. And you found nothing, because there's nothing to find. Morrison didn't respond. Am I correct, detective? The console was not located at the residence. Marcus stood. Then unless you're charging my client, who is 10 years old, we're leaving. We may have additional questions. You know where to find us, through me, not through school ambushes. He helped Ethan up. We walked out. In the parking lot, I broke down, just collapsed against my car, trying to hold it together. Dad? Ethan's voice, scared. Dad, are you okay? I pulled myself together. For him. Yeah, buddy, I'm okay. Let's go home. Marcus squeezed my shoulder. I'll follow you. We need to talk. At home, Ethan went straight to his room. Didn't want lunch. Didn't want to talk. Just sat on his bed staring at nothing. Marcus sat at my kitchen table. This is bad, Jake. How bad? They handcuffed him at school, in front of everyone, based on zero evidence and family accusation. He paused. That's really bad. What do I do? First, we wait for their investigation to clear Ethan, which it will, because he didn't do anything. Second, we document everything, photos, witnesses, trauma. Because Jake, you're going to sue. Sue who? The department. Ryan. Maybe your parents if they were involved. I hadn't thought that far. I just want this to stop. It will. But you need to prepare for what comes next. What comes next? School, other parents. People will talk, assume, judge. You need to be ready. He was right. That night, my phone exploded. Group text from Ethan's class parents. I'd been added months ago for coordinating field trips. Sarah M. Did anyone else hear about what happened at school today? Mike T. Police were there. Something about the Carter kid? Jennifer L. I heard he got arrested for stealing. Sarah M. From a family member. That's awful. Katie R. Should we be concerned about our kids being around him? I stared at that message, read it 3 times. Should we be concerned about our kids being around him? My son, my sweet, shy, Lego-loving son. They thought he was dangerous. I left the group chat, blocked them all. That night, Ethan woke up screaming. I ran to his room. He was sitting up, shaking. Buddy, what's wrong? They're going to take me away. The police are coming. No, 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 you're home, you're safe. They put handcuffs on me, Dad. Everyone saw. I held him. I know. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Why did Uncle Ryan do this? Why does he think I'm a thief? I had no answer, none that made sense. We stayed up the rest of the night, watched cartoons, ate cereal at 3 a.m., pretended the world hadn't just shattered. The next morning, my phone rang. Mom. I answered. What? Jake, honey, we need to talk about Ethan. What about him? Well, with these accusations. You mean the false accusations? Derek wouldn't lie, but Ethan would. Is that what you're saying? Silence. Mom. Your grandson was handcuffed at school. Do you understand that? These things happen when children make poor choices. I hung up. Texted Marcus. My family is defending this. All of them. He replied. Document everything. Save all messages. We'll need them. Day 3. The investigation continued. Detectives interviewed Derek. His story had holes. When did you notice it missing? Like a week after the dinner? Why didn't you tell your parents right away? I forgot. They interviewed Derek's friend over the phone. Kid slipped up. Yeah, Derek wanted the new Xbox, but his parents said no. So he was trying to sell his PlayStation? I mean, I don't know. Maybe? Day 4. They found the console. At a pawn shop. Sold by Derek. Receipt had his signature. He'd blamed Ethan to cover up selling it himself. To buy a newer gaming system his parents had refused to purchase. And my brother, detective for 12 years, had believed his son without question. Hadn't investigated properly. Had used his badge to have my son arrested. Because he thought Ethan was guilty. Because he thought I was raising a criminal. Because he'd never respected me. Never seen me as an equal. And when his son pointed a finger at my son, he'd believed it without hesitation. They called me on day 4. Case closed. Ethan cleared. Mr. Carter, we apologize for the inconvenience. Inconvenience? You traumatized my child. Detective Ryan's complaint was filed in good faith. He's a detective. He should know better than to file charges based on his son's word alone. Internal Affairs will review his conduct. You bet they will. Because I'm filing a formal complaint. Against Ryan. against everyone involved. I hung up, called Marcus. They found the console. Derek sold it. Ethan's cleared. Good. Now we go nuclear. What does that mean? It means we destroy everyone who did this to your son. Legally, systematically, completely. I thought about Ethan's nightmares, the group chat, the whispers at school, the look on his face when they put handcuffs on him. Tell me what to do. First, we get Ryan on record. Get him to admit why he really did this. How? Invite him over. Record him. One-party consent state, you don't need his permission. And then? Then we take everything we have, the recording, the evidence, the trauma, and we file complaints. Police department, bar association, school district, everywhere. My father's a lawyer. My mother works in schools. I know. We're going after them too. I should have felt guilty, should have hesitated. But all I felt was cold, crystalline rage. They'd hurt my son. Now they'd learn what happened when you came after a father's child. Let's do it, I said. Let's burn it all down. Day 2 after the handcuffs, I took Ethan to school. Mistake. We walked through the parking lot and every conversation stopped. Parents stared. Some pulled their kids closer. One dad, Brad, coached Little League, actually crossed to the other side of the walkway. Ethan noticed. Dad, why is Mr. Brad avoiding us? Because people are idiots, buddy. Inside, it got worse. Kids whispered, pointed. One girl, Ethan's friend since kindergarten, turned away when he waved. His teacher, Mrs. Palmer, overcompensated with aggressive kindness. Ethan, so great to see you. How are you doing, champion? Like he'd survived cancer, not a false accusation. I left him there. Felt like abandoning him to wolves. At work, I couldn't focus. Checked my phone every 5 minutes. Lunchtime, Principal Hendricks called. Mr. Carter, we need to discuss Ethan's situation. What situation? He was cleared. Well, the investigation is still technically ongoing. No, it's not. They found the console. Derek sold it. Pause. We weren't informed of that. Maybe call the police department instead of assuming my kid's guilty. Mr. Carter, I understand you're upset, but some parents have expressed concerns. Concerns about what? About their children's safety around Ethan. I laughed. Actual bitter laugh. You're joking. Several parents have called. They're worried about the theft allegations. False allegations that were proven false in 3 days. I understand, but perception matters. For Ethan's own well-being, perhaps voluntary leave until things calm down. You're suspending him. Not suspending, suggesting a cooling-off period. Because other parents can't Google innocent until proven guilty? Mr. Carter, I'll pick him up in 10 minutes, and I'm transferring him to a school where the principal has a spine. I hung up. Found a new school by end of day. Better district anyway. Ethan could start Monday. But the damage was done. He barely spoke the whole weekend. Sunday night, Mom called. I let it go to voicemail. Jake, honey, your father and I think we should all sit down and talk. This situation with Ethan has gotten out of hand. We're family. We need to work this out. Please call me back. I deleted it. Marcus texted, ready for the family ambush tomorrow? As ready as I'll ever be. Remember, record everything. Let them talk. The more they say, the more rope they have. Monday morning, 10 a.m. My parents' house. I arrived with my phone recording in my jacket pocket. Marcus was meeting me after, said it was better if I went alone first. More honest responses, Dad answered the door. Robert Carter, attorney for 38 years. Salt and pepper hair, expensive suit even at home. Jake, thank you for coming. Inside, Mom was in the living room. Patricia Carter, elementary school counselor for 18 years. The Caring Professional Act was already activated. Ryan was there too, with Amber and Derek. Derek looked miserable. Good. Sit down, Dad said. Not a suggestion? I sat, kept my hand near my pocket. Phone recording, Dad started. This situation has spiraled out of control. You mean Ryan filing false charges against his nephew? It wasn't false when filed, Ryan said. Derek reported theft. I investigated. You had him handcuffed at school without evidence. I had probable cause. Your son's word. That's it. No physical evidence. No witnesses. Nothing. Mom intervened. Boys, please, we're family. Let's not attack each other. Family, I looked at her. Family doesn't call the cops on 10-year-olds. Ethan needed to learn. Learn what? He didn't do anything. Derek spoke up. Small voice. I'm sorry, Uncle Jake. I looked at him. 12 years old. Scared. I softened slightly. Derek, why did you lie? He started crying. I wanted the new Xbox. Dad said no. So I sold my PlayStation and blamed Ethan because why? He looked at Ryan, then back at me. Because Dad always says your family is messy, that Ethan doesn't have a mom, that you don't discipline him right. I thought he'd believe me. The room went silent. I turned to Ryan slowly. You told your son my family is messy? Ryan's face reddened. Jake? That I don't discipline Ethan, right? I didn't mean... What did you mean exactly? Amber put her hand on Ryan's arm. Warning. But he was already spiraling. You want the truth? Ryan stood. Fine, yes. I thought Ethan might have taken it. Because you're raising him alone. No structure, no mother. You're stretched thin, trying to work and parent. Kids without proper supervision act out. Proper supervision? I stood too. Ethan has straight A's, perfect attendance, has never been in trouble once. Meanwhile, your son just committed fraud and filed a false police report. But tell me more about supervision. That's different. How? How is it different? Derek made a mistake? And you assumed Ethan was a criminal. Not a mistake. A criminal. Dad tried to mediate. Jake, Ryan was doing his job. His job? Dad, he's a detective. He knows how investigations work. But he skipped every protocol because it was convenient to believe his son over mine. You're being dramatic, Mom said. Boys make mistakes. Derek apologized. It's time to move forward. Move forward? Mom, do you know what Ethan asked me last night? She waited. He asked if I still loved him. Because if his own uncle thinks he's a thief, maybe he is one and doesn't know it yet. Mom's face crumpled. Oh, Jake? Your 10-year-old grandson thinks he might be a bad person because his family assumed the worst about him. And you want me to just move forward? What do you want? Dad asked. Lawyer voice. Negotiations. I want Ryan to admit he screwed up, that he let bias and jealousy cloud his judgment, that he used his badge to punish my son for my success. Ryan's eyes went cold. Jealousy? You think I'm jealous of you? You filed charges the week after I bought my house. That's a coincidence. Is it? Because at that dinner I mentioned my promotion, and Dad barely acknowledged it. But everyone celebrated your closed case. Again. Not everything is about you, Jake. No, but this is. You couldn't stand that I was finally doing well. Single dad, messy situation, and still bought a house before you did. Still got promoted. Still raised a better kid than yours turned out to be. Ryan lunged. Amber grabbed him. Don't. I didn't move. Let the recording capture his rage. Dad stepped between us. Both of you, enough. I'm done here, I said. Headed for the door. Jake, wait. Mom followed. Please. Don't let this destroy our family. You destroyed it when you assumed Ethan was guilty. We didn't... I pulled out my phone. Showed her Facebook. Her post from 3 days ago. Praying for wisdom in dealing with family struggles. Some situations with young relatives require tough love and professional guidance. Family? First, tough choices. Comments from her teacher friends. Dozens. All understanding. All assuming. You told everyone, I said quietly. Your professional network. Other educators. You violated Ethan's privacy to make yourself look... What? Like a concerned grandmother? I didn't name him. Everyone knows who you mean. Mom, you work in schools. You know how this spreads. Ethan will be starting fresh at a new school and your post might follow him there. Her face went white. Delete it, I said. Now. She pulled out her phone, deleted it with shaking hands. I'm sorry. I didn't think. No, you didn't. I left. In my car, I stopped the recording. 11 minutes. Ryan admitting bias. Mom's public post. Derek's confession about Ryan's comments. All of it. I texted Marcus. Got it? All of it. Good. Now the real work begins. That week, I started building the case. Marcus walked me through it. Internal affairs complaint first. Include the recording, timeline, evidence of bias. Will they even investigate? He's one of them. They have to, especially with media attention. Media? Jake, a detective, handcuffed his innocent nephew at school because he believed his own lying son. That's a story. I hesitated. I don't want Ethan more traumatized. We keep his name out of it. Minor, protected. But Ryan's name? That's public record. I filed the IA complaint on Wednesday. Detailed, professional, devastating. By Friday, Ryan was suspended pending investigation. He called. I didn't answer. Texted, "You're destroying my career." I replied, "You destroyed my son's childhood." He didn't respond. Saturday, Marcus and I met for coffee. Next steps, your father. What about him? He gave you legal advice during the investigation, as an attorney. But his son was the investigating officer. That's a conflict of interest, potential bar violation. You want me to report my own father? I want you to hold him accountable. He used his legal status to pressure you, to intimidate, to protect Ryan. That's ethics violation territory. I thought about Dad's voice. As an attorney, I advise you to cooperate fully. Do it, I said. And your mother. What she did, posting publicly about Ethan's case while working as a school counselor, that's a FERPA gray area, maybe worse. Parents at her school won't trust her now? She's worked there 18 years. And in one Facebook post, she proved she can't be trusted with sensitive information. I should have felt guilty, should have hesitated. But I remembered Ethan's face, the handcuffs, the nightmares. File everything, I said. I want them to feel what Ethan felt. Marcus smiled. Not a happy smile, a predator's smile. Now you're thinking like a lawyer. 2 weeks after the handcuffs, Ethan started his new school. I walked him to class. He held my hand. Hadn't done that in a year. You okay, buddy? What if they find out? About before? They won't. And if they do, we'll handle it. Promise? Promise. His new teacher was younger. Kind. Didn't know our history. Welcome, Ethan. We're so glad to have you. He managed a small smile. At pickup, he ran to me. Actual ran. Dad, I made a friend. His name is Lucas and he likes Lego too. I hugged him. That's great, buddy. Can he come over sometime? Absolutely. First time he'd asked for a playdate since the arrest. We were healing. Slowly, but healing. My family, though? They were about to learn what consequences felt like, because the investigation into Ryan was just beginning, and I had all the evidence they'd ever need. Internal affairs moved fast, faster than I expected. 2 weeks after I filed the complaint, they called me in for a formal interview. The investigator was a woman named Captain Morrison, late 40s. No-nonsense expression. She'd seen every type of cop misconduct imaginable. Mr. Carter, thank you for coming in. I've reviewed your complaint and the evidence you submitted. And Detective Ryan Carter violated approximately 7 departmental policies, at minimum. She laid out photos on the table, screenshots of my recording transcript, timeline of events, Derek's confession. He conducted an investigation involving a family member without recusal. He filed charges based on hearsay from his minor son. He authorized a school detention without sufficient probable cause. He failed to conduct even basic investigative follow-up before escalation. What happens now? Formal disciplinary hearing. He'll have union representation. But Mr. Carter? She leaned forward. This recording where he admits to bias and jealousy? That's career-ending. Good. She studied me. You understand he'll lose everything? Pension reduced? Future employment in law enforcement impossible. This will follow him forever. He handcuffed my 10-year-old son at school because he resented my success. He deserves everything coming to him. Fair enough. She closed the folder. We'll be in touch. I left feeling lighter than I had in weeks. Marcus was waiting in the parking lot. How'd it go? She said career ending. Excellent. Now, your father. I filed the state bar complaint yesterday. That fast? Strike while the iron's hot. I documented every instance where Robert identified himself as an attorney while pressuring you during Ryan's investigation. Conflict of interest. Using his legal status to intimidate. Attempting to influence the investigation through prosecutor contacts. Will they actually investigate? They have to. The bar takes ethics violations seriously, especially when there's documented evidence. Marcus pulled out his phone. I also sent copies to the local legal journal. Prominent attorney under investigation for ethics violations. That hits tomorrow. His firm will love that. His firm will ask him to retire, quietly, before it becomes a bigger scandal. I should have felt guilty. This was my father. But every time doubt crept in, I remembered Ethan's nightmares. The way he flinched when he saw police cars now. Guilt evaporated pretty quick. What about Mom? I asked. Working on it. Her Facebook post violated multiple professional ethics guidelines, but the real leverage is her employer. School districts are paranoid about privacy violations. One complaint to the superintendent? Do it. You're sure? I thought about her post, about Ethan's name being whispered in educational circles, about her choosing to protect her image over her grandson's privacy. I'm sure. Marcus smiled. You've gotten ruthless. I've gotten focused. There's a difference. 3 days later, Ryan's disciplinary hearing happened. I wasn't allowed to attend, conflict of interest, but Marcus had a contact who filled us in. Ryan showed up with his union rep, tried to argue that he'd followed procedure, that Derek's accusation constituted probable cause, that family relationships didn't negate his duty to investigate. Then they played the recording. Ryan's voice clear as day. I thought you were raising him wrong. Single dad, no structure, no mother. You were doing better than me and I resented you. His union rep actually put his head in his hands. The panel deliberated for 20 minutes. Verdict: immediate termination. Cause: gross misconduct, abuse of authority, investigative bias, violation of public trust. Ryan's 12-year career ended in a conference room on a Tuesday afternoon. He called me that night. I let it go to voicemail. You happy now? I lost everything. My job, my reputation, everything. Over a mistake, over family. You're destroying me, Jake. For what? Revenge? I saved the voicemail. Might need it later. Texted back. You destroyed my son first. This is just consequences. Week 3 brought Dad's reckoning. The state bar investigation moved slower than IA, but the legal journal article did its job. Prominent local attorney Robert Carter under ethics investigation for alleged misconduct in family member case. His law firm, Henderson and Associates, called an emergency partners meeting. Dad had been a partner for 20 years, brought in major clients, respected. But ethics investigations? Those were PR nightmares. They asked him to resign. For the good of the firm. He refused, insisted he'd done nothing wrong. I was acting as a father, not an attorney. You identified yourself as counsel. You gave legal advice. You contacted prosecutors. You can't have it both ways, Robert. The bar agreed. 2 months after I filed the complaint, they issued their finding. Attorney Robert Carter violated rules of professional conduct regarding conflict of interest, improper ex parte communications with prosecutors, and using professional status to intimidate family member in active investigation. Recommended discipline: 2-year suspension. For a 67-year-old attorney, 2 years was effectively disbarment. He'd never practice again. Henderson and Associates made the resignation non-negotiable. He left on a Friday. No party, no farewell. Just a box of personal items and 40 years of reputation in ruins. He called me once. I hope you're satisfied. Not yet. I said. But getting there, hung up before he could respond. Mom's situation took longest to develop. School districts move like glaciers. But Marcus had connections, knew which superintendent to contact, which school board members to CC. Patricia Carter, counselor at Madison Elementary, posted publicly about a family member's legal case while it was under investigation. Post included identifying information visible to her professional network. Constitutes violation of student privacy protocols and professional ethics guidelines. The district launched an investigation, interviewed parents, reviewed her social media, found more posts, vague ones but enough to establish a pattern. Dealing with family challenges. Sometimes the people closest to us need the hardest truths. Praying for wisdom with difficult young relatives. Each one was carefully worded, deniable. But everyone who knew her knew what she meant. The district offered her a choice, resign or face termination proceedings. She fought it, hired a lawyer, claimed protected speech. Family matters, not professional. The district wasn't interested in legal battles. They scheduled a termination hearing. I attended, public record, sat in the back row while they laid out the case. Facebook posts, parent testimonies, violations of counselor ethics. Mom's lawyer argued context, stressed employee, seeking support. No names used. Then the district's lawyer pulled out parent affidavits. 6 parents from her school testified that they'd heard her discussing my grandson's theft arrest in the teacher's lounge, at a PTA meeting, during a parent-teacher conference where she'd been covering for another counselor. She'd used my son's trauma as gossip fodder, as a cautionary tale, as proof she knew how to handle troubled children. The board voted unanimously, termination for cause, effective immediately, 18 years, gone. She saw me as she left. We locked eyes across the room. She looked broken, defeated. I felt nothing. That evening, all 3 of them showed up at my house. I watched through the window as they got out of Dad's car. Ryan looked hollow. Dad looked angry. Mom looked devastated. They knocked. I didn't answer. "Jake!" Ryan shouted. "We know you're in there." Ethan came downstairs. "Dad? Who's that?" "Nobody important." More knocking. "Jake, please, we need to talk." I looked at Ethan, at my son, who still flinched at unexpected noises, who still had nightmares about handcuffs, who was finally starting to smile again at his new school. "Want to order pizza?" I asked him. "Can we get extra cheese?" "Absolutely." The knocking continued for 5 more minutes, then stopped. Through the window, I watched them leave. 3 people who'd spent their lives judging me, dismissing me, assuming the worst about my son. Now they were the ones everyone judged. Ethan and I ate pizza on the couch, watched a movie. He fell asleep against my shoulder. I carried him to bed, tucked him in. "Love you, buddy." "Love you too, Dad." Marcus texted. "Heard about your parents' visit. They left." "Good. Because we're not done yet." "What do you mean?" "Civil suit. False arrest. Emotional distress. Malicious prosecution. We sue Ryan, the department, everyone." I thought about it. More legal battles? More exposure? More dredging up Ethan's trauma? How much? Conservative estimate? $200,000. Could be more. Will it hurt Ethan? More publicity? His name stays sealed. Minor protections. But it sends a message. You can't do this to children. I looked at Ethan's closed door. Thought about therapy bills, new school costs, the college fund I'd depleted for legal fees. File it. "You're sure?" They wanted to destroy us. Now they get to pay for it. Literally. Marcus sent back a thumbs up. That night, I couldn't sleep. Sat on the porch with coffee at 2 a.m. A car pulled up. Ryan, alone. He got out slowly, looked terrible, unshaven, wrinkled clothes. "Jake? You should leave. I need to say something, please." Against my better judgment. "You've got 2 minutes." He sat on the porch steps, kept distance between us. I destroyed my life. I know that. Lost my career, my reputation. Amber's talking about divorce. Derek's in therapy. Dad's not speaking to me. Mom blames me for her job. And? And I deserved it. All of it. What I did to Ethan, putting him in handcuffs, accusing him, humiliating him, that was unforgivable. Then why'd you do it? He was quiet for a long time. You want the real reason? Yeah, I do. Because you were always the screw-up, the one who got a girl pregnant, the single dad struggling, the cautionary tale mom used at family dinners. And I was the golden child, the cop, the success story. I know all this. But then you started succeeding anyway, without their approval, without their help. You bought a house, got promoted, raised a good kid alone. And I couldn't handle it. That you did it without them. That you were better than me despite everything. He looked up, eyes red. So when Derek said Ethan stole something, part of me wanted it to be true. Because then you weren't perfect. Then I could still be the better brother, the better parent, the better son. That's pathetic. I know. You ruined my son's life because you needed to feel superior. I know. We sat in silence. I'm sorry, Ryan said finally. I know it doesn't matter. Doesn't fix anything. But I'm sorry. You're right. It doesn't matter. He stood. I'm moving. Amber's kicking me out, taking Derek to her parents' place. I'll be gone by next week. You won't have to see me. Good. He walked to his car, stopped. For what it's worth, Ethan's a great kid. Better than Derek. Better than I deserved for a nephew. You did good, Jake. Better than any of us. He drove away. I sat there until dawn, thinking about family, about consequences, about justice, about whether revenge and accountability were the same thing. Decided they were, at least in this case. The civil lawsuit took 8 months. Ryan's lawyer tried every delay tactic, continuances, discovery disputes, settlement offers that were insultingly low. $20,000, Marcus said, showing me the offer. They're hoping you'll take it and go away. Counter with 200. They'll never. Then we go to trial. Let a jury hear how a detective handcuffed his innocent nephew out of jealousy. We went to trial. 3 days. Small courtroom. Ryan looking diminished in a cheap suit, his lawyer grasping at straws. Detective Carter made an error in judgment, but it was not malicious. Marcus destroyed that argument with the recording. Ryan's own words, "You were doing better than me, and I resented you." The jury deliberated 4 hours. Verdict: $185,000 in damages. $50,000 in punitive damages against Ryan personally. Another $35,000 against the department for inadequate supervision. Total, $270,000. Ryan's face went gray when they read it. He'd never pay the $50,000. Would probably declare bankruptcy. But that wasn't the point. Outside the courthouse, a reporter approached. "Mr. Carter, how does it feel to win?" "It feels like my son can finally move forward." "Do you have any message for your brother?" I thought about it. About everything we'd lost. Everything he'd destroyed. Actions have consequences. He learned that the hard way. That clip played on local news that night. Ethan saw it. "Dad, is it over?" "Yeah, buddy, it's over." "Do I have to see Uncle Ryan again?" "Not unless you want to." "I don't." "Then you won't." He hugged me. "Thanks for protecting me. Always." 6 months after the verdict, life had settled into something resembling normal. Ethan thrived at his new school, made friends, joined robotics club, laughed again. Really laughed. The nightmares stopped around month 4. The flinching around police officers took longer, about 7 months. But eventually that faded too. His therapist said he was remarkably resilient. I think he just had no choice. I used part of the settlement money to set up his college fund. The rest went to paying off legal fees and buying him something he'd wanted forever. A massive Lego Death Star set. We built it together over 2 weeks. Didn't talk about the case, didn't talk about family, just built. "Dad, Are Grandma and Grandpa bad people? I thought carefully. No, but they made bad choices, and they hurt you. So we're keeping our distance. Will we ever see them again? I don't know. Maybe when you're older, if you want to. Okay. He went back to building. Question answered. Moving on. Kids are better at that than adults. 1 year after the handcuffs, I got a letter. From Mom. Handwritten. 4 pages. Jake, I don't expect you to read this. I wouldn't blame you if you threw it away, but I need to say it anyway. I failed you. As a mother. As a grandmother to Ethan. I chose loyalty to Ryan over protecting an innocent child. I spread gossip instead of offering grace. I made Ethan's trauma about me instead of about him. I lost my job, my reputation, my relationship with you and Ethan. I deserve all of it. Your father and I separated. He couldn't accept responsibility for his part. Kept blaming you for overreacting. I finally realized we raised Ryan to think he was invincible. We raised you to think you were invisible. That was wrong. I don't know if you'll ever forgive me, but I want you to know. I see it now. What we did. How we failed you both. If you ever want to talk, I'm here. But I understand if that never happens. I hope Ethan is healing. I hope he knows his grandmother loved him, even when she failed to show it. Love, Mom. I read it twice, put it in a drawer. Didn't respond. Marcus asked about it over coffee. You going to answer? I don't know. Maybe someday. That's fair. She lost everything because of me. No, she lost everything because of her choices. Don't take that burden on. He was right. But some guilt lingered anyway. 18 months after the arrest, Ryan sent a Facebook friend request. I stared at it for a full minute. Then declined. Blocked him. He'd moved 3 states away. Working security at a mall. Divorced. Saw Derek every other weekend according to mutual family friends. His life was small now. Contained. Nothing like the golden child trajectory everyone expected. I should have felt satisfaction. Mostly felt tired. 2 years after everything, Dad died. Heart attack. Sudden. Mom called. First time I'd heard her voice in 18 months. Jake, your father passed. When? This morning. I know you two weren't speaking, but the funeral is Saturday. I'd like you and Ethan to come. I thought about it. About Ethan meeting these people again. About facing that family. I'll come, alone. Ethan's not ready. I understand. The funeral was small. 40 people. Lots of lawyer colleagues who looked uncomfortable. Ryan was there. We didn't speak. Didn't make eye contact. Just existed in the same space. At the reception, Mom approached. Older, grayer, smaller somehow. Thank you for coming. He was still my father. He regretted everything, at the end. Told me to tell you that. Okay. Jake, I know I don't have the right to ask, but could I see Ethan, just once? I won't push for more, I'd like to see how he's doing. I thought about Ethan, about what he'd want. I'll ask him, but it's his choice, not mine, not yours, his. That's fair. 3 weeks later, Ethan said yes. We met at a park, neutral territory. Mom brought cookies, Ethan's favorite kind. She cried when she saw him. You've gotten so tall. Hi, Grandma. They sat on a bench, talked about school, about robotics club, about his friends. Mom didn't mention the case, didn't ask for forgiveness, just listened. After 30 minutes, Ethan said, I'm ready to go, Dad. We left. In the car, he was quiet. You okay? Yeah, it was nice seeing her. But I don't think I want to do it again for a while. That's okay. It's your choice. I know. That was enough for now. 3 years after the handcuffs, I was tucking Ethan into bed when he asked, Dad, do you regret what you did to Uncle Ryan and Grandma and Grandpa? I sat on the edge of his bed. That's a complicated question. But do you? I regret that it had to happen. I regret that you got hurt, but I don't regret protecting you or holding them accountable. Even though they lost their jobs? Even though. Because you lost something too. Your sense of safety, your trust. Those matter more than jobs. He thought about it. Lucas's dad said you're vindictive. Lucas's dad can mind his own business, Ethan grinned. That's what I said. That's my boy. Dad? Yeah? Thanks for believing me. When no one else did. Always, buddy. Always. 4 years after everything, Ryan requested to meet. Coffee shop, public. Marcus offered to come. I said no. Ryan looked better, healthier. Therapy and humility had done him good. Thanks for meeting me. You've got 30 minutes. I'm not here to ask for forgiveness or reconciliation. I just wanted to tell you, Derek's doing better. Therapy helped. He's taking responsibility for what he did. Good for him. And I wanted to say, you were right. About everything. I was jealous, bitter. I used my badge to punish your success. What I did to Ethan was unforgivable. Okay? I'm working on myself, being better, not for redemption, just to be better. We sat in silence. I hope Ethan's okay, Ryan said finally. He is. No thanks to you. I know, but I'm glad anyway. He stood, extended his hand. I looked at it. Thought about handcuffs, about nightmares, about consequences. Shook it. Once. Briefly. Goodbye, Ryan. Goodbye, Jake. He left. I never saw him again. 5 years after the arrest, Ethan was 15, thriving, honor roll, dating a girl named Maya, building computers in our garage. One evening, he asked, "Did I ever thank you?" For what? For going nuclear on the family. I know it cost you. It cost them more. Yeah, but you lost them too. Grandma, Uncle Ryan, even Grandpa before he died. That had to hurt. I thought about it. About lonely holidays. About family events we'd never attend. About relationships that would never heal. Sometimes protecting someone you love means losing people you loved first. That's just how it works. Was it worth it? I looked at him. Healthy, happy, whole. Every single consequence. He hugged me. Rare at 15. Love you, Dad. Love you too, buddy. That night, I thought about the last 5 years. The lawsuits, the destroyed careers, the fractured family. Some people called me vindictive, cruel, unforgiving. Maybe they were right. But my son slept without nightmares. Trusted adults again. Knew his father would protect him no matter the cost. That was worth more than any family reunion. Worth more than reconciliation. Worth everything. Because at the end of the day, I didn't destroy my family. They destroyed themselves the moment they put handcuffs on an innocent child. I just made sure they faced the consequences. And I'd do it again. Every single time.